YouTube. Come on in, come on in. Welcome if this is your first time here, and welcome back if you are a subscriber and a supporter. Hugs. Shout out to the subscribers, all 99 of y'all. We going up, 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 all the way up. We almost at 100, but in the meantime, between time, I wanted to get out and about, enjoy some fresh air, and get a little exercise. So I said, why not come by the water? It's a place I like to go for reflection and everything, and I didn't feel like going too far, so this is where I ended up. Okay, this is a different location than my last waterfront location. Let me show you my little outfit. I hope you can see that because I don't have a tripod. I got the pink sandals. So this is what it is. Okay. Anyway, initially I had started talking to you about in my last waterfront on location video about 48 things that I learned in 48 years. It's not to say that I didn't learn anything, because that was a continuation of my birthday video. It's just that I had to really just take the time, sit down, which I'm going to do now, okay? I really just had to sit down, do some reflection, and take into account some things, okay? So I wrote everything down this time. So this is going to be like a recap of part one of the video. Initially, I was going to do the video in I think it was 3 segments or 4 segments, but I just decided to break it down and do it all in a 2-part series and just get it out the way. All right, so here we go. 48 things I learned in 48 years. Again, this is a recap, okay? Number 1, trust and go with God at all times, good, bad, and indifferent. Number 2, health is wealth. Follow your doctor's advice. Don't be afraid to go for a second or even a third opinion. You're the best advocate for your health and health equity, especially if you're a person of color. I hate that term, but it applies here. If you're black in particular or Latino, etc., etc. A lot of times we don't get the same health advocacy and equity that we should. So that's why you should not be afraid to go for a second or third opinion if needed. Okay. Number 3, in part 1, I had left out and omitted accidentally, but I caught it. Okay. So number 3, I'm going to say it is better to be alone than in bad company. A lot of times we feel sad, depressed, oppressed because we may not have friends, we may not have family. We may find ourselves in a situation where we're isolated for whatever the reason or reasons may be. So I'm telling you from my own experience, okay, it is better to be alone than in bad company. You have people that can put you in precarious positions where your safety or your health may be at risk, by associating with them. Okay, so that's why I said that. All right. Got that out the way this time, right? I ain't forget this time. Number 4, if you have family, even if you're distant from your family, you are blessed. As long as there's life in you and life in the remaining family members, there's an opportunity for you to work on things sometimes. Now, sometimes relationships can be beyond repair, So, I'm still go with hope and say I hope and I pray that, and that's P-R-A-Y, not P-R-E-Y, but we're going to get to that too. Okay, that you are able to rekindle your relationship with your loved ones, be it family or friends, because sometimes friends can be more endearing and more helpful to you than family. But you gotta watch them too now. All right. Now, number 5, cherish the cheesy, corny times. That comes from my own personal experience, because again, this is about 48 things that I learned in 48 years. And I learned that there were plenty times like when it would just be me and my parents, or me, my parents, a couple of cousins, and maybe my brother, my other brother may come by with some of his friends or whatever. But, it was always like, a small entity or whatever. And a lot of times I would find myself saying to myself and out loud, sometimes to my parents, be like, oh, this is whack. You know what I'm saying? I wish that we had more people over here, but now that my parents are gone, I cherish those times, those corny, cheesy times when we had a 4-person barbecue or a 7-person barbecue or whatever it was, So cherish those cheesy, corny times with your friends and your family in particular. All right, number 6, break bad habits, people, places, and things. Okay, now, I said that because sometimes, again, being in bad company can be bad for your health, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health. So it is important to, stay away from people that trigger you, whether they trigger you with anger or they trigger you with emotion that makes you get heart palpitations or aggravation or rises your blood pressure. Be cognizant of that and aware of that, and stay away. Get back. Get back. Now, I don't know who say that. Some producer say that and you need to get back. All right, number 7. Never love anyone more than you love yourself. A lot of times, women in particular, we find ourselves looking for love, looking for hold on. My mind wants to say, but my mouth can't get it together. Hold on. Hold on. Idolization from people. Men in particular, we're looking for validation and, whatever it may be. But, never love no one more than you love yourself. On a deeper level, it could come with, like, family, too, Don't put your family before you put yourself. Don't put your friends before you put yourself, Because at the end of the day, all you got is you. And they tell you on the airplane, what? Put your mask on first, because if you don't got your mask on, you can't help save your baby or nobody else. All right, or whoever you came with, okay, on the plane. All right, number 8. Respect yourself enough to walk away. Now, my father, boy, I miss that man. Whew. I love my dad, I was very fortunate to grow up with a father in the household. My father wasn't a part-time parent and a full-time friend. My father was constant, and he lived with, in the household, So I was very fortunate to grow up with a father in the household, particularly being black and a black woman. I was very fortunate, very blessed to have a father. And that's something my father used to say when we used to have our heart-to-heart talks and stuff, He used to say, know when to bow out gracefully, So that's what number 8 means to me. Respect yourself enough to know. Respect yourself enough. Gosh, hold on. Respect yourself enough to know when to walk away. My dad told me, and I'm telling you, know when to bow out gracefully. Number 9. Sometimes you have to love people from a distance My grandmother used to tell me that. Oh my goodness, my grandmother. I had two. I'm very fortunate. I mean, like, yeah, everybody done gone to glory and everything like that, and they no longer here. But those those gems that they left me with, those little ad libs, those little catchphrases, or whatever you want to call it, they stick with me today, and it's something that I do reflection on, and I think back of. And my grandmother, she used to call me Sugar. She's like, Sugar. She used to say to me all the time, Sugar, sometimes you got to love folks from a distance. But she didn't say it like that. She was like, sometimes you got to love it from a distance, okay? Yes, she did. God rest her soul. All right, number 10. Everyone doesn't need to know everything. I think that's self-explanatory. So, like, a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this because I am an oversharer, that people don't need to know your biography, your autobiography, none of that, your documentary, none of that. They don't need to know all of that, So that's what that means. They got, these flowers over here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, they got these flowers. So I'm getting bees, I'm getting flies. I'm getting the whole gamut over here. Okay. All right. Number 11, say less. So I think that number 10 and number 11 are like they intersect. You can use them, intersectically. You know what I'm trying to say. But say less, okay? Number 12, you have nothing to prove to anyone. You don't have to go. If somebody doesn't see value in you, they think they better than you, they, I don't know what, these people, these are some, like the kids like to say, he's weird, she's weird. Yeah, these are weird times with weird people, okay? So, whatever these folks done did to you, just know you don't have to validate it, and you don't have to prove anything to anyone. Number 13, you owe no one an explanation as to how you live your life, okay? Now, unless these folks are, you know what I'm saying, like, paying your bills or something, you don't owe them an explanation. Now, if you out here committing crimes, you on bandit time, demon time, whatever you want to call it, you might have to answer to that and for that. But other than that, that's the only exception to explaining yourself, okay? Number 14, have an attitude of gratitude and be grateful at all times. Good, bad, and indifferent, because somewhere, someone always has it worse than you, And that's a true story, Yeah. Number 15, strive every day to learn something new. Don't think that just because you at a certain age or you reached a certain pinnacle of success in life that you know everything, because you don't, okay? Whether the situation is good, bad, try to learn a lesson in the session that you went through. So, you could not make the same mistakes and you could learn from it and maybe share your experience with somebody if you feel like it could benefit them and keep them from going through the same trials and tribulations. Number 16, learn to know the difference between intention and attention. Particularly, this is for, I want to say, for men and friends and family, it's applicable all around the gamut, okay? All around the board, whatever you want to say. But yeah, learn to know the difference between intention and attention. Simply put, I'm not from Texas. I'm from New York, New York City. I'm from New York City. Welcome to New York City. That's Dipset. Anyway, Jim Jones? Okay, well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm not from Texas, but simply put, don't tell me, show me, okay? So learn the difference between attention and intention. Number 17, don't buy what you want and borrow what you need. I've seen folks, don't get offended now. If you listen to this and you like, is this bitch talking about me? I'm just playing, but I'm saying, okay? I done seen folks, you know, they doing food stamp hauls and spending $200 and $300 on a nail set. That don't make sense. Like, to me, it doesn't anyway. You know, but that's like that lady Tabitha Brown says, that's your business. That's your money. That's your business. And the taxpayer dollar. But I'm just saying, you know, it just, I don't know, make it make sense. Okay. But again, don't buy what you want and borrow what you need. Don't buy, you know, the fresh pair of Jordans and then you got to borrow money to put gas in your car, or I don't know, you got to borrow money for groceries, or you got to, you know, you buy in I don't know, what I'm not really like a name brand person like that. I know you like, bitch, stop lying, but I'm for real though. I'm really not, you know. I'm really not. And if you do see me and I bought it and it wasn't gifted to me, trust and believe I got it for the low, okay? But yeah. Let me see what else can I say? Perfect example. Don't go like out, you know, out and about on the town, to the movies, to the roller skating rink, to a club, to a bar, to a restaurant, to flex on Instagram, and then you gotta borrow money to get to work or to get groceries, get gas, get a pack of diapers or whatever it is. Okay, so don't borrow what you want and buy what you need. I'm sorry. Did I say that right? Don't buy what you want and borrow what you need. Okay, number 18, prioritize your priorities. You know, you have to, excuse me, I'm like itchy scratchy over here with all these damn insects. But at least it's not hot like it was yesterday. Yesterday, I couldn't even put on no makeup. I got my face beat today. I even got my lashes on. Let me bat my eyes. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, prioritize your priorities. That's number 18. Number 19, stack or starve. There's a biblical saying, he or she that doesn't work doesn't eat. Now, the caveat is to this is if you getting food stamps, I ain't judging. You know what I'm saying? It's hard out here. And I ain't saying nothing wrong with folks that need help. I mean, there's been times I needed help, you know. This quote, stack or starve, that is courtesy of Hustler Spirit. And the Hustler Spirit channel on YouTube with Big Lee and Fleece Johnson. If you don't know who Fleece Johnson is, that's the notorious, infamous, whatever you want to call him. You know, he's a real life person, but they did a character on him on the Boondocks. We could do this the hard way or the easy way. And then he was on, I think it was it 2020 or one of those Dateline, what, you know, like one of those like behind bars show where they trying to, you know, make it a deterrent for you to go to jail. He was on there and he was saying like booty in prison is more important than water. Yeah, so ladies, if you got you a bed in prison, just know, you know, he may be telling you that's his cellmate, but that may be his soulmate on the low, on the low, on the low. If you ain't check out that song by Burna Boy, check it out. But yeah, so yeah, that's a quote, stack or starve from Hustle Spirit. And it's also, you know, one of the things that I learned, and I really do have to learn to save, you know. But I'm telling you, life, I want to say since I lost my job at the trucking company, has been, you know, very tumultuous for me. I've had different setbacks, different adversities, which I'm not at liberty to talk about. Why? Because I'm taking my own advice. I'm saying less. Okay? I know this motherfucker ain't throwing bread over here, because I'm going to walk over there. You ain't going to like it. Okay? And I'm not even playing with you. For real, though. Mace to the face and a cut to the gut. I'm pretty, but I'm not a punk. Remember that. Anyway, let's get back to it, because if something else fly over here, I'm not even joking. Like, you won't see me, like, get active over here. Let's take a walk and see what's going on, because I don't know, sometimes people like to play, like, don't play. You know what? Let me sit my black ass down. I'm sorry, y'all. I forgot. I just saw it on the news yesterday. They had a boy in the Bronx. They was, some kids was shooting him with a water gun, and then he told the kids, stop shooting with a water gun. They shot him dead. Let me sit my bliggity black ass right on down. I told, girl, have a seat. Have a seat, Miss Mamas. Okay? But yeah, that did piss me off real quick. Sorry you had to see me get like that. I know y'all be thinking, oh, she always laughing, she always giggling. That's part of my PTSD. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, like my grandmother used to say, my grandma on my mother's side, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying, girl. All right, that part heavy. But yeah, I do. I got fire in me. Like I said, I'm pretty. I'm not no punk. Trust and believe that. All right. Anyway, okay, we did the stacking star. That was number 19. Number 20. Don't let nobody sell you a big bag of bullshit and that you buy into it. Simply put, don't let nobody sell you a dream with no work and no effort. Don't let nobody. I don't care, if it's you're a strange parent and they telling you, oh, I want to be back in your life. I'm sorry this happened or whatever. Don't tell me, show me. I don't care if it's the man in your life. Oh, Miss Mama's, you the one. I'm feeling you, boo. And baby, don't tell me, show me. Okay, so number 20, I'm going to just reiterate that again. Don't let nobody sell you a big bag of bullshit and you buy into it. Number 21, dreams don't always come true without effort, but nightmares do. So make sound and sober decisions. This goes back to number 6, where I told you, be mindful of people, places, and things that can bring you out of your element, out of your element and out of your character. Like you just seen, okay? All right. Number 22, be careful of false friends and true enemies. To me, what this means is frenemies that claim that they want to see you do good, but they don't want to see you do better than them. We know them types. They claim, oh girl, I'm so happy that you got this job. Oh girl, your son, I'm so glad you got on. Your kid, I'm glad. Stop it, okay? Some of these people be false friends and true enemies, okay? And you'll find it, if you haven't already learned, that, sometimes people don't want to see you do good. And it doesn't even matter. Sometimes it's not even about like status or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I've had experiences where friends that were in, better positions than I am. And, it's not too late. Listen, I'm still praying to God. I'm still keeping the faith that, maybe one day I could be a homeowner. Maybe one day, I could be debt free, but sometimes it be the people that got the most and they hate on you the most, okay? Perfect example. I know 2 people. One chick, she got a good ass job. I said a job. She got a good ass career. She got like almost 30 years on the railroad. All she does is talk bad about people. That's why I had to distance myself from her because I notice every time I'll be around her, she be like talk about somebody like, oh, this, and I'm like, damn, if you talking, this supposed to be your peoples, you know what I'm saying? This supposed to be your family. This supposed to be your friends, and you talking about them like that? Damn, bitch, I know how you talk about me behind my back, for real. And then there's been times when she, like, would say, like, subliminal, like, shade, and she think that because she put a he, a laugh with it, like, I ain't pick up what you was dropping. I didn't pick up what you was dropping down. Miss Mamas, listen, bitch, I know what the fuck you said, and I know what you said and how you said it and what you meant by it. You ain't fooling me, But we gonna get back to that, another situation with that person, and I had another one. And this one, that one, not only did she got a good ass career, a homeowner, formerly a business owner, a foreign car owner, Like, bitch, I ain't even got shit. Just imagine if I did. You would really fucking hate me. I know you know, but anyway, and swear somebody jealous of you. What am I jealous of, girl? Stop it. Anyway, like, she was like, how you meet this guy, anyway, let me just not dwell on these folks, because I'm not even giving this, these people energy, like, you know what I'm saying? That's why, like, I distance myself. I had to learn the hard way. Everybody is not your friend. Everybody that smiling in your face and talking with you, sometimes the people be talking about you, and that's a fact. Facts of life. You ain't heard that song by Bobby Womack? Check it out. Facts of life. That's a fact of life, all right? So again, be careful of, because I got a little distracted, y'all, sorry. And then I got another friend, I know her from the 6th grade. This bitch had the nerve. Yes, I don't give a fuck if you hoes watching this, you see it, you hear about it. I don't give a flying, okay? I'm talking to you and about you. You know who you are, so if you see this, it's whatever. For real. That part heavy. I know this chick from the 6th grade. I had hit hard times, and I asked her because she dropped me a couple of hundred, to hold me down till I got right. This bitch had the nerve and audacity to tell me I had to pay her interest, right? Then I was like, no problem or whatever. I was still going to do it because I needed it, to get by. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm not out here fronting for nobody. Yeah, you see me with this Fendi shit. Listen, bitch, I got this off motherfucking Amazon. The shit was like $60, and it came with the glasses, like the real Fendi frames and everything. Yeah. Okay? Yeah, you see me with my Versace bag. You can still cop these. They got them on eBay. Okay? This is for Versace perfume. This ain't Versace, Gianni Versace. I mean, Versace, but you know what I'm saying? It's Versace perfume. You can cop it too. You know what I'm saying? A hot 30 something, $40, something like that. Yeah, girl, you gotta do it on a girl, Devo. You gotta do it on the discount, okay? I'm not out here fronting for nobody. I'm not out here telling you, eating at restaurants. You see me, I'm in the house fucking cooking. Okay, first of all, half of these restaurants be nasty anyway. You watch Kitchen Nightmares with Chef Gordon Ramsay. You see all the nasty shit they be having going on in the restaurants. That nastiness, even at, let's talk about the chain restaurants. Even at Wendy's. It was like a couple of years ago, somebody had, a manager, I think he was, had ejaculated into the fucking milkshake machine. Baby. You keep your hepatitis and whatever else you got going on. You keep that to yourself, okay? I don't want none of that. Okay, I'm not out here fronting for nobody. I'm in a foreign car. I got a foreign car too. It's a Kia, But shit, that's a motherfucking foreign car too. It ain't a Ford, okay? But yeah, true story, truth be told, I'm not out here fighting for nobody. You know what I'm saying? You see me, I do my own fucking beautification. I do my own nails. I do my own eyebrows, my own makeup, my own hair. I'm my own stylist. You know what I'm saying? I'm not out here telling you, renting what the Airbnbs telling you that this is my crib. I'm not out here renting. I forgot the car company where you could rent like luxury cars for a day or about an hour or whatever. I'm not out here doing that, telling you, flexing like this is my car, you know, when it's not. Or you really have a foreign that's yours, a BMW, or I don't know, shit, a Mercedes or whatever. And meanwhile, you could barely put gas and you could barely afford the maintenance and the insurance on that bitch. Fuck out of here. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little, I'm getting a little live right now. But anyway, yeah. Oh yeah, I got distracted. I'm sorry. I do that sometimes. All right, so listen. Yeah, so she told me I would have to pay her interest. I said, okay, no problem. I need it. And then once I committed to paying her the interest, she still fronted on me and shammed on me and was like, oh, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do it. So I said my piece to her like, oh, you don't remember the time like Michael Jackson when I was, up, you know what I'm saying? And I helped you out. Gave you fucking gold that you could sell. Gave you money in your pocket and shit. Yeah, you forgot about that. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't keeping tabs, but I'm just saying though. So I said my piece, but I said it respectfully. Like how you hear me like animated and, a little boisterous, a little vulgar. It was none of that. Because I didn't want to be that, that person that she was going to try to paint me if I would have came at her like that. So I came at her respectful, calm, cool, and collected. I thanked her and everything. Like, oh, thank you, no problem. I understand. So when I gave her that response, that like kind of flipped it on the bitch. Because then she was like, oh, this bitch ain't mad. Nope. This bitch, she ain't like cursing me out, calling me everything but a child of God. Nope. Thank you. I know what it is and what it ain't right now. So yeah. I said all that to say, and then she had the nerve to call me. Not even too long ago. I think like maybe like this week or last week she called me out the blue like, oh, I thought what she say? I thought somebody took your phone or whatever, because I've been trying to get through to you or whatever. I was worried about you, you and these Africans, whatever. So I had to clear her out, you know what I'm saying? Because she was trying to get wild, disrespectful on the low, excuse me. And she didn't think that I was going to peep it, because, this one, she's a teacher. She has, she got some, she got some credentials behind her name, you know what I'm saying? PhD or whatever, masters of the science and all, So, she, this one, she tried to use, like my grandmother, the old timers, the OGs, they used to say, when you use big words from the dictionary, from the collegiate dictionary, that is, they used to be like, oh, you dropping $5 words. So she liked to drop, big words, but some words the bitch didn't know. She didn't know what the fuck a misanthrope was till I put it on. She didn't know what, hold on, self was. Okay, I'm going to just spell it and you'll know what I'm talking about. You can Google it. SVELTE. That means skinny, okay? So I was like, yes, I've been working. Oh, girl. I've been working on my, getting this weight off and stuff with these pandemic pounds. So, yeah. And so I had to let her know, clear out real quick. I was like, oh, really? I was like, it's funny that you should say that you didn't know what was happening to me, and now you have such a, all of this concern, this air of concern and, discernment, you like where you want to reach out and call people to see if I'm okay, but when I needed you, you wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? And then as far as the Africans go, I had to let her know, Miss Mamas, I don't deal with Afri scams. And listen, if you African from Africa, which we all are, genetically, biologically, okay, we all are descendants from Africa. But, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't born there. I wasn't raised there. Listen, people like, where you from? I'll be like, they do this to me all the time. Like, but girl, where you from? You from the South? Nope, I'm from New York, born and raised. Then they be like, oh, are you West Indian? Especially, the people, they be like, oh, are you from the islands? Nope, I'm from the continent of Africa. They be like, oh yeah, really, where? I like to fuck with them. So I be like, oh, I don't know, but I'm from there, Africa. But I had at one time married an African, which is my second husband. If you want to hear a story time about that, get up in the comments. But yeah, he was a polygamist. He thought he was a player. Bad news. Bad news. Listen, we know what song kind of mine. When I think of that man, I wish I never met him at all. I mean, it's a couple I wish I never met, but that motherfucker top of the list right there. But yeah, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just like, I don't know. I was like in a bad mood, so like, I do curse. Listen, I do. I'm not. Listen, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying, and how it is, and I do curse. Okay, I try not to when in public and stuff, but it's just me and you. We chilling. All right, so yeah, so I had to let her know. Listen, I don't mess with Afri scams. That's AFRISCAM. I don't call them Africans. I call them Afri scams, and that's not all Africans. It's certain ones in particular. So I said, listen, I don't have no relationship or dealing entanglements with no Afri scams. So I don't know what you talk about. And like I said, you showing a lot of concern, or seems to be, for somebody that wasn't there when I needed you. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say I'm checking her pockets or nothing like that, but the way she had always presented it, oh, I've just bought my second home. I've invested into a rental property, and she used to tell me, what else she said? I'm creating generational wealth with my second home. So, and then she, like, one time, she's very, I hate to use these words like narcissistic and, these other terminologies that people use, because I don't have the credentials. Yes, at one time I was a KSAC, that's a credentialed alcohol substance abuse counselor, but I do have a college degree, but I don't have a PhD. You know what I'm saying? That's a player-hated degree, or a psychology or psychiatry degree to diagnose people. So that's why I don't like using that terminology like narcissist. But to me, if I was going, yes, I would paint Miss Mamas as that. One time she got mad because I didn't interpret. She sent me a picture of her like on an island, and she had like a hat on, where you couldn't see her face is obstructed. And she's like, what do you see in this picture? And I was like, oh, I know I'm getting off the subject, but I'm going to bring it back to what did I learn? What did I learn? Not her, or what did I learn from the experience with her, but in general, in the 48 years. But anyway, she was like, what do you see in this picture? I was like, it looked like somebody that's well-rested, enjoying themselves, and just, in a state of peace and calm. She got bad, and this wasn't no text, so it wasn't no misinterpreting the tone of the text. We were speaking directly on the phone. So she's like, no, that's not what you're supposed to get. You're supposed to see a person that's well-traveled. I've been to X amount of countries or whatever. I'm like, listen, Miss Mamas, you need to calm down, take that bass out your voice, okay? Listen, art and photographs, what you sent me a photograph text, are subjective to the viewer, to the receiver. And when I saw the picture, that is what I interpreted. You know what I'm saying? That was subjective to what I was able to ascertain from that photo. But you see what I'm going with this one? So yeah, so let me just bring it back, because I done got a little off topic. Okay, well, they say off kilter. Okay, So yes, number 22, be careful of false friends and true enemies. Frenemies that claim that they want to see you do good, just not better than them. Okay? Number 23, say what you mean and mean what you say. Okay? Folks call it standing on business, but to me it means ain't no half stepping. Either you all in or you all out. Okay? If you make a commitment to yourself, prioritize that priority and follow through with it. If you make a commitment to somebody else, follow through with it. And if you can't, I understand things happen. I understand there's changes in, circumstances, finances, whatever, but communicate that so the person can make alternative arrangements or whatever. So that's why I wanted to clarify, because it could take on many contexts, but, that's just my examples. Number 24, I learned, don't be a part-time parent and a full-time don't be a part-time parent and a full-time friend to your child or children or smother them. I'm guilty of that. I take accountability. I am a smother. Okay? Children, whether it's one child or multiple children, or whether it's one kid or multiple children, they need structure, they need support, emotional support, spirituality, not just financial support. They also need love, and sometimes it can be hard to find a balance between, those ways to support your child, but you have to find balance, with parenting, especially if you're a single parent. So seek services and support and resources if you need it, because it can be overwhelming. Okay, number 25. Okay, let me just read that again so in case you didn't get it up, because I know I'm talking a lot. Don't be a part-time friend and don't be a part-time parent and a full-time friend to your child or children. Okay, that was number 24. And just a side note, I've seen and I've had people in my family that smoked weed with their kids when they were teenagers or whatever, and I'm like, my mother would never, my father would never. Okay, and I'm like, and I asked my family, I ain't gonna say it because then they'll know okay, fuck it, one of my cousins. Okay, so listen, I put all you motherfuckers on Front Street today. Okay, I'm giving you the business in the motherfucking riot act. Okay. Yeah, so my cousin mother, used to smoke with her, and I was like, you don't feel weird or nothing? She's like, no, my mother rather do it with me or whatever. I'm okay. And we was under 18 at the time, but like I said, number 24, don't be a part-time parent and a full-time friend to your child or children. Sometimes they need the structure of a parental figure in a structured household, especially nowadays, these kids running rampant, in the street. You know what it is. I ain't gotta say no more. Number 25, be careful who you ask to pray for you. You hear this? Now, if I ain't, listen, I done told you and dropped some gems on you, but this right here is heavy, okay? This right here is heavy. Be careful of who you ask to pray for you. That's P-R-A-Y. Sometimes you don't know what God, or if these folks even believe in God. They could be an atheist for all you know, or not even, belong to the same faith. And sometimes folks, they prey on you. That's P-R-E-Y. P-R-E-Y. They prey on you and not pray for you. They're preying on your downfall. They're preying on you so that they can manipulate you and they can exploit you. And this is a true story. I don't know if I should share this, but this is just an example. I'm putting this out there. Even though I did tell you say less, even though I said everybody don't need to know everything, I think that you need to hear this story so this you could really let this marinate what I just said, and you know what I'm saying, you won't feel what I'm saying. There's a difference between people that pray for you and people that are praying on you. When I lost my job as a truck driver, I still had to pay, my bills. I had, rent, car note, food, medical. I had, just a plethora, a litany, whatever you want to say, of responsibilities. And so I asked one of the people I told you about from the frenemies list or whatever, the one that works for the MTA, you know, career, okay? Because she helped me. Homeowner, foreign driver. Oh, yeah, you could clean my house for me. Okay. Let's just say she wanted me to clean more than a house. I'm going to say it's Pride Week. Read between the lines. Okay, read between the lines. Yes. I'm like, damn, bitch, you could at least try to seduce me. You gonna come at me like that for real? Just because I need help? Damn, it's hard out here for damn, you. All right, we gonna say less, okay? You get the gist of the story. So I said all that to say, be careful. And then that same person was paying people in Africa, to pray for her, and having like rituals and stuff. But at the same time claiming to be a Christian. And I got my own thing with the Christians. A lot of these folks be convenient Christians. So yeah, be careful who you ask to pray for you in your time of need. Listen, don't nobody know your troubles, but listen, how that song go? Oh Lord, travel so hard. Don't nobody know my troubles but God. Yeah, okay? Sometimes you got to pray for yourself because you don't know who these people pray to and whether they're actually praying for you or praying on you, okay? I know this is a long video. I'm at number 47. Oh, damn. I'm at 47 minutes, sorry. Okay, number 26. This goes back to what I was saying. Number 25. Look out for convenient Christians. We know the type, the Bible thumpers. They're carrying the Bible. They're saying Jesus this and God this, and and oh, I'm gonna pray for you. But meanwhile, they're doing the devil's work. Okay, they all demon time. Yeah. Okay, so look out for them convenient Christians. I learned that in my 48 years. Okay. Number 27. Stop subscribing to manufactured holidays and commercialism and consumerism. A lot of times people, when the holidays come up, Christmas, Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day, birthdays, people, they get mad, sad, depressed, and oppressed over man-made holidays. I mean, your birthday, I guess it's kind of man-made too, but, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, they get, all bent out of shape over these man-made holidays, doing the most. Some of them, they go hurting and harming people and killing at will, with those mass shootings and stuff like that over one day. It's one day. Take a sleep. No, I ain't gonna. No, no, I didn't say that. Okay, okay. Listen, sleep on it, but don't take nothing. Just sleep on it. Okay, you'll get through it. All right. It's one day. Okay. But yeah, stop subscribing to manufactured holidays, commercialism, and consumerism. All the shit that they be selling us for Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, Valentine's Day, it's mass-produced, overpriced bullshit that, manufactured mostly in China. You may be lucky if you get you a bag of something from Italy or France or something, whatever. But it's mass-produced, it's overpriced, and it holds no value other than what you're willing to pay for it. And can we say depreciation? Yeah, okay? So remember that. All right, number 28. Number 28 is a life lesson that I learned. All skin folk ain't kinfolk. I think Zora Neale, oh goodness, let me try to say her name right. Zora Neale Thurston, I think her name is. She's an author, famous author. She was, excuse me, a famous author. I think that was her catchphrase. All skin folk ain't kin folk. So what that means is people nowadays, they saying, oh, people of color, people of color. So if you really want to do the math on a situation, that's Latinos, Asians, East Indians, from India, stuff like that. This is the cultural grouping of what America is trying to program us to say people of color. Now, meanwhile, you calling these people of color, and some of them do have color. Some of them are darker than me. I've seen East Indians that's darker than me. If they didn't have that straight jet black silk hair, you know what I'm saying? You'd be like, damn, where you from? Guinea or something? You from the Sudan? Yeah. I've seen East Indians that's darker than me. I've seen Latinos, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans that's darker than me, have more ethnic Afrocentric features than me. But you know what? Both of them populations of people, they'll tell you real quick, fast, in a hurry, I know black. I know black in me. I know, no, it's me, that was the Spanish accent. Let me see if I can do the Indian. I know black. No black. No black in me. Okay? They'll tell you that shit real quick, fast, in a hurry. All right? It's too bad, so sad, that I don't even know how many years, I was supposed to look this up, how many years we are, after the end of slavery in the U.S. And we're not talking about Juneteenth, because that was, isolated to Texas. But, for the rest of the country, the end of slavery, that black folk, whether they're American-born blacks or domestic, be it foreign or domestic, domestic being from the U.S. and foreign being from wherever they from, Jamaica, Haiti, I don't know, Zimbabwe, whatever, okay? Yeah. They always, we as black people are always trying to find ways to differentiate ourselves from each other. We use, separators to separate ourselves. Oh, you from this country, I'm from here. Oh, you this nationality, I'm this nationality, or culture, or you dark and I'm light. You got nappy hair, I got corn silk hair, It's always something that we always, as black people, are always looking to differentiate ourselves from another. I'm peanut butter brown, I'm mocha chocolate. Listen, if a white person or a Hispanic, a East Indian, an Asian, if they call you a nigga, okay, they ain't gonna say you a light-skinned nigga, you a peanut butter brown nigga, you a mocha chocolate nigga, you a Haitian nigga, you just a fucking nigga, okay? And that's real talk. I can't give it to you no more raw than that, all right? But that's what we do to ourselves, and that is why it's so sad that we not able to get ahead. I mean, you want to take it. Listen, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. All right. We could talk about it just with American blacks. I've seen it, I've heard it, like, where American blacks from New York, they may talk about people from the South and be like, oh, this motherfucker country, and then you have the Southerners, and they'll say, oh, this motherfucker think he, smart or whatever, so listen, we always trying to find a way, it don't matter, foreign or domestic, to differentiate ourselves from each other. And unless we get this, get it together, wrap tight, it's going to always be crabs in a barrel. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is and how it is. Right? So, again, number 28, because I done went on my little tangent, gave y'all the riot act, okay? Number 28, again, is all skin folk ain't kin folk. Okay? Number 29. Get comfortable in your own company. Now, what this means to me is I'm naturally an introvert. I'm naturally a misanthrope. I'm distrustful of people due to bad experiences. And I had one on Memorial Day. Sister was almost up out of here, girl. Like, for real. But we saying less, so we ain't gonna talk about that. Okay. But I mean, shit, I can't even. That was like that wasn't like a laugh. That was like a uncomfortable, like, I can't believe that happened to me laugh. But yeah. Anyway, yeah, get comfortable in your own skin. As an introvert and misanthrope, I'm not going to say antisocial because I learned in college when I was going to school to be a drug counselor. I have a degree in behavioral sciences with a major in chemical dependency. When you say someone is antisocial, there are negative psychiatric connotations associated with that designation, you know. But, that's why I don't like to say antisocial. I say introvert. I say misanthrope. But yeah, that's who I am and how I am. And life experiences in my 48 years that I've been on this earth. Thank God, praise be to God, the Most High. The Most High sits high and he looks low. And his eyes on a sparrow. I learned this. Get comfortable in your own skin, A lot of times, we beat ourselves up. We are our hardest critics on ourselves, when society, friends, family, people we don't even know, the general public, they sit there and attack us, And don't be a pretty bitch. Don't be a pretty bitch like me. Listen. Okay, let me keep it real. All right, I'm not a pretty bitch. I look alright. I look alright. You know what I'm saying? I'm decent for 48, and I'm decent for not 48. I'm just decent in general. That's with or without makeup. But people that they try to, I'm telling you, pick on you. Like one time. I went to the doctor, right? Why the receptionist? I guess they wanted me to act like, ghetto and like get out of character. They was talking about me, and I know they was talking about me. And they was like, oh, that's what you don't wear out. That is not appropriate. It was a dress. It wasn't like, first of all, I don't got the body. The body, and fuck what you see, fuck what you hear, fuck what you heard. I don't got the body or the confidence to be like letting it all hang out like the Jamaicans say, skin out. Me not have that type of confidence, okay? I don't got that type of confidence. So, they was just trying to trigger me, but I just was like, I was like, oh yeah? I was like, you talking to me or about me? Oh no, we just talking about, bitch, the TV is not on. So what did you talk about? Who was you talking to? But, I kept it cool, calm, and collected because I'm a lady. First and foremost, okay? So yeah, get comfortable in your own skin. Tap into interests, hobbies that quell the isolation and loneliness that you may feel. When I think about things I would like to do, if I had the, I forgot what they call that, expendable income. If I had expendable income and the time, money, and resources, I would love to do, what's that called? Oh God. Equinox. Oh good. Horse. I'm gonna just say horses. I'm gonna stop trying to be fancy, dropping these $5 words on you. I would love to learn how to ride horses. I remember as a kid, my mother, she took me to a farm, and they used to have like this pony, and they used to like ride us around in a circle. And the horse's name was Queenie. So yeah, I love that experience. That was my first experience with horses and ponies. So I would love to do horseback riding again. I would love to learn how to play the drums. I always, I actually, you know what? When I graduated school, I ended up going right into nursing from high school. right into nursing. I got lucky. After I did my clinicals, they hired me. I worked in a nursing home with the geriatric population. Then I ended up getting a transfer to the hospital. And then in the hospital, I worked with a plethora of different populations, like psychiatric populations. I worked med-surg, telemetry. I worked, oh goodness, a lot of different floors, okay? Because it was a university hospital I worked at, a teaching. And if you don't know the difference between a university hospital and like a community hospital, a university hospital is a teaching hospital where they learn and they do like the clinical trials and stuff like that. So yeah. But yeah, I would love to, I wanted to learn, I said all of that to say, sorry, we like an hour in, okay? Hopefully, I don't know, hopefully a trucker is checking in and they driving down the road, like, listen to me talk my mess, talk my shit, okay, about what I learned. But yeah, I would have loved to go to school for music. I wanted to be a music producer because I can't sing, I really can't. Yo, I used to, like, when I used to have friends, like, I was, like, funny, like, people, they be like, I don't know, they be like, girl, you be having me laughing, girl. And I'm like, oh, yeah, so, but I cannot sing. And I used to tell my friends when I had friends, I'd be like, they gonna take away my black card. I can't jump double dutch, okay? I can't play spades, okay? And I can't sing. I can't even twerk, okay? First of all, yeah, they gonna take my black card away. Like, nah, bitch, you just tell us you got some Indian in you and some Cuban, all right? We believe you because you can't do none of that shit. You can't jump rope. Like, I could jump single rope, but not double dutch. I can't twerk. I can't sing. I can't play spades. And something else I just told you, but yeah, I can't do none of that. But I would have loved to learn to play the drums. I would have loved to learn how to play the guitar because I love, like, one of my favorite songs is by the Isley Brothers, Voyage to Atlantis. And I love, like, the guitar instrumental in that song. So check it out. It's called Voyage to Atlantis by the Isley Brothers. And it goes, and like I be so into the guitar. Like, when somebody playing the guitar and like a song, and I like the chords of the guitar, I'll be like just like playing, acting like I'm playing. I'm like, what I'm saying? Yeah. So I would have loved to. I mean, it's not too late. It could still happen. I would like to learn to play the drums. I would like to learn how to play the guitar. I would like to learn to ride horses again. I would like to learn, I guess I could learn how to try to play spades. So if I get invited to a barbecue or something, I could maybe play a hand or something. But yeah, so I said all that to say, get comfortable in your own skin, accept your flaws, This is like one of my many, okay? You see this? I do not like, I mean, I'm like Virginia Slims. I came a long way, baby, because the girl, I used to be on swole. I mean, like, I'm still a big girl, a big body chick, but I was like, I was like a big body chick, okay? Just put it that way, so yeah. But learn how to get comfortable in your own skin, take up hobbies and interests and all that mess, okay? Number 30, we're getting there. We're going to number 48, okay? Let the bullshit blow in the breeze. Simply put, every action doesn't require a reaction. I gave you that story. I could have came on her and be like, bitch, da, 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 da. Nope. Thank you. That's what that means, all right? Keep it calm, cool, and collected. Every reaction doesn't require a reaction. Try to stay calm, collected, and unbothered. You're going to have to put this into practice. I know. I know. Because it damn sure is not easy, but neither is a medical episode brought on by high blood pressure for somebody stressing you out, okay? So yeah, let the bullshit blow in the breeze. That's number 30. Number 31, we're getting there. Try to forgive yourself for allowing others to hurt you, use you, and abuse you. And if you have used and abused people emotionally, physically, financially, whatever it may be, ask them for forgiveness as well. And ask God for forgiveness if you can't talk to the person directly that you are hurt, used, or abused, okay? But learn to try to forgive yourself, because that's like one of the hardest things that I've learned in my 48 years is, I'm not a forgiving person. I'm really not. Like, somebody pissed me off or you say something to me, if I don't give you the business right then and there and read you the riot act and tell you about yourself, call you everything but a child of God or whatever, if it goes there, I may just distance myself from you, and you may not hear from me 5 or 10 years. Listen, this is a true story. This has actually happened. When I'm over it, and it sometimes it has taken me years to get over things that, I'm not gonna say it was trivial, because I don't think that you should minimize somebody's feelings. Everybody has feelings, and you shouldn't minimize them. But I don't think it should have took me 5 or 10 years to get over some things. And some people, I just never talk to them again. Like Chanel, if you're out there and you hearing this, hey girl, I know I ain't talked to you since 2005. Hey girl, how you doing? But yeah. So try to forgive yourself and learn to forgive others. That's number 31. I'm trying to pick up the pace, okay? Number 32. Do not, I repeat, do not get involved in domestic affairs. I don't care if they're your friend, your kin, or a good, there's a kid over there, so I'm not gonna curse, a good fucking friend. I don't care, okay? You'll always be on the losing side when it comes to a domestic, event. And sometimes it may cost you your life, it may cost you your freedom. So do not get involved in other people's business. Drink your water and mind your business. Do not get involved in domestic affairs of any caliber, okay? Friend, kin, or good friend, okay? Number 33. Learn to accept compliments. I had to learn that, and I know that, because I've read some of your comments, yeah, sorry, to, people that have reached out and complimented me, that I don't look my age, I don't look 48, on the cusp of 50, okay? I'll be 49 next year, God willing, and I've gotten compliments on that. I've gotten compliments on my makeup, my sense of fashion, stuff like that. But sometimes it's hard for me to accept compliments, because sometimes I don't always see or feel the validation, or or I don't feel, I don't see what they see, okay? I, like many other women, have had, fragility with my self-esteem, fragility with my body, different things. And some of this, it predates me becoming an adult, from childhood. My little brother, he's very, very fit. Well, I ain't gonna say he ain't no Faith Evans or nobody, or Morris Chestnut, but he has that, like, poppy kind of look to him. He got the nice hair, the complexion and stuff, and people will always compare us, like, that's your real brother? That's your real brother? And then he got like a Spanish name too, like, I ain't gonna put his name out there on Front Street, but yeah. And they'd be like, that's your real brother? And I'm like, yep, same mother, same father. Yeah, so, but that goes back to one of my other life lessons I was telling you about, about people, kinfolk and skinfolk. You see how, as a child, they try to find a way to differentiate me from my blood brother. Same mother, same father, based on our complexion, based on our hair texture, based on, our features and stuff like that. And it's something, that I internalize. So I don't always see that. So a lot of times, and then, boy, this video is a lot heavier than I thought it would be. A lot of times, I learned this in counseling when I was going to school to be a counselor. And I shouldn't even tell you this, but yeah, I plan on finishing my degree. Maybe I was thinking about even becoming a doctor, a psychologist. Why not? Or maybe a mental health, I know you like, damn girl, crazy. I done heard of the blind leading the blind. Now we talk about the crazy with your laughing ass leading the crazy. But I've worked at a mental hospital before. But anyway, I learned this in my, I said all that to say, okay? Because I'm like babbling. I want to get this video done. I know because I said I was going to do it just in 2 parts. So maybe I should have broke it up because I didn't know it was going to be, we had an hour and 11 minutes. I didn't know it was going to be this long. But yeah, it was very hard for me to accept compliments. And I learned this when I was going to school to be a counselor. And I was taking psychology classes and different classes and reading different books. A lot of times when you see fat people, yeah, some of them, myself included, are lazy. Some of them, don't like to work out, don't eat the right stuff. But then sometimes there's trauma behind them eating, and, but that's just something to think about. I ain't going to say too much because I got to get going. My battery, I'm at 15%, I think it says, so I got to hurry up. So yeah, number 33, learn to accept compliments. You are worthy. And also, don't be afraid to compliment other people. It costs you nothing, and it may make somebody's day. You never know what somebody's going through. The kindest word, you look good, you smell good, I like your outfit, you have a nice smile. It can turn somebody's day around. So learn to accept compliments and give them. Number 34, get grounded with good people. People who encourage you, people who inspire you, people who help you, people that listen to you, and they find, that's if you find, listen, I didn't tell you can't tell everybody everything, but if you in a safe space with somebody that you trust, and there's somebody that values you, and they offer solutions, not just solutions, but they offer you solid advice and not just a listening ear, so they could go back and be like, oh, you know what, they told me this. You don't want that. You don't want be talking to nobody like that. But I'm just saying, you want somebody that giving you solid advice, somebody that's giving you a solution, not just oh, that's crazy. We don't need that. Okay. So yeah. Number 34, just to go back, get grounded with good people. Okay. Don't be with the people that's, not trying to do nothing with their life, and they don't think that you can do anything with yours. Okay. You want to be inspired, and each one teach one, all that mess. Okay. Let me get going because I don't know how, I can't tell. Okay, my battery's about to die. I hope it don't go. Okay. Number 35, listen to what's not being said. I'm gonna say that again. Another one of my favorite songs, song is by Heather Headley. It's called I Hear What's Not Being Said, or something like that. But Heather Headley, check it out. Okay, that's the girl who sings, in my mind, I'll always be his baby. I'll always be his girl. Yeah, that girl. That's her. She got a song. Listen to what's not being said. Body language and behavioral cues are palpable. There's something that you could feel. You could, everybody talk energy. They're empaths. Energy. Listen to what is not being said. Pick up on body language, behavioral cues. Because it's one of them hip hop songs they say, I think it was Wu-Tang Clan or Prodigy, something like that. They said, what is it, 89% of language or whatever is nonverbal, something like that. But yeah, listen to what's not being said. Number 36, learn to love yourself, or at least try to. Listen, come here, I'm gonna tell you something. It took me 48 years. I'm gonna try not to cry because I told you bitches I wasn't gonna let you mother see me cry, okay? But it took me 48 years to get where I can try to accept myself, my failures, my shortcomings, you know, and try to accept myself the way I am. Why I try to continue to better myself, to be the person, the woman, the mother, the friend, if I get a friend, that I want to be, you know. But I'm learning to try to accept myself as I am, fat, failed, and flawed. You know, it's not easy to love yourself, but try. Number 37, realization and acceptance and accountability. Heavy on the accountability is everything. Check in with yourself in the situations that you're in. You know, analyze, do assessments. I learned that. That's another thing I learned in counseling. Okay. Number 38. This is another one I learned that's heavy, and I had to learn it. I earned it and I learned it. Stop telling people your business. Stop telling people what you're going through, what you've been through. Shit, don't even tell these motherfuckers what you're going to do or what you want to do. They don't care. People just don't care. No one cares what you're going through unless they're directly affected by what you're going through. They don't care. You're hurt, you're depressed, you feel oppressed. It's not their issue. Grab a tissue, build a bridge, and get over it. Miss Mamas, Mr. Mama, Mr. Papa, Mr. Ugh, that was my ex-husband's name. I hate that motherfucker. Anyway, but yeah. Not their issue. Grab a tissue, pray, get down on your knees. If you can get down on your knees to please that man, please that woman, get down on your knees and pray about it. Grab a tissue. It's not their issue. They don't care. Okay? Number 39. My father told me this. And it's my father, I wish man, my dad was the glue that held the family together. You heard? My father told me this. Never tell nobody how bad you're doing. Again, they do not care. And some people is happy to see or happy to hear that you're going through adversity, you're going through challenges. So don't tell nobody how bad you're going. You see me? Miss Fendi, Miss Versace, Miss Jury, if you only knew, okay? Yeah. Only you knew. Yeah, that part, okay? Yeah, so don't tell nobody how bad you're doing. They ask you how you doing. Destiny Child said it the best. I'm doing so good, so good, so good. Yeah, okay? Number 40. Okay, let's see if we can make it before the battery cuts off. Okay, God bless the child that holds his own or her own. Okay? Now, that's a quote from Billie Holiday. You know, Billie Holiday had this song, God bless the child that has its own. Well, we in different times. You know, you got kids in foster care, kids in kinship care, kids in group homes. You know what I'm saying? People in shelters. You know, people don't got no family. People don't have no friends. People don't have a support system. You know, so God bless the child that holds their own. You know, hook or crook, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do, God bless the child that holds his or her own. This is a quote from that song from Billie Holiday. Money, you got lots of friends. They're crowded around your door. But when you're gone, spending ends. They don't come around no more. Okay? That part is a true story, truth be told. So, okay? Let that marinate. Number 41. Everyone is carrying life luggage. You never know what someone is going through or has been through. Be kind. Be understanding. Be empathetic. But most importantly, I hope I can read it. Don't be a fool. You could be all of that, but be kind, be empathetic, but don't be a fool now, okay? But people's carrying around life luggage, trauma, childhood trauma. I mean, statistically, they say things that you go through as a child, you carry into adulthood, So be kind to people, be empathetic, be caring, All right, now I'm trying to hurry up on my battery cuts off. Number 42, stop falling in love with the idea of being in love. The Spinners got that song. It takes a fool to learn that love don't love nobody, okay? And that is a true story, truth be told, okay? I love that song, Spinners. And when you think about it on a deeper level, you have, they say maternal love is the strongest love, the love of a mother for a child. If that's true, why are kids in foster care and they're aging out into the system to be on social service or whatever? Why didn't their parents get off the drugs and come back into their kids' life? Why didn't the parents, nurture their child, guide their child, speak life and blessings over their child? So I gave you that background to say, love don't love nobody when you really think about it. So stop falling in love with the idea of being in love. Whether it's friend or kin, a man, a woman in your life, stop falling in love with the idea of being in love. Number 43. People are enrolled in the school of life, but they fail at the school of thought. Folks be going around acting dumb. They be saying dumb stuff. They be doing dumb stuff. And then when you stop talking to them or you have an issue with them and you put it on Front Street and address them on it and call them out on it, they looking at you like they don't know what they did. I'm 48, okay? It comes a time where, I guess what they say, the mind stops developing when a person or a child reaches 25. Okay, so once you reach 25, according to statistics, people shouldn't have to keep explaining to you what you did, what you said. Okay? So, again, number 43. People are enrolled in the school of life while we are alive, but they fail at the school of thought. Okay? Sometimes people be knowing what they did. They be knowing what they said, but they just don't care. Number 44. We got 4 more to go, y'all. All right, hang in there. Come on, battery. Be nice to someone. Short, because you don't know when somebody's short going to have to be nice to you. Shout out to Little Richard from Queens, Jamaica Ave. This is a true story. I hope I don't cry on this one either. Get teary-eyed. Don't look down on nobody unless you help picking them up. This is around the time when I had called my friend and I asked her, could she help me? So, my friend, she shammed on me, like I said. So I had to get out there and hustle. And no, but it wasn't none of that. It wasn't nothing illegal. It wasn't no, what they call it. It wasn't no blade activity or nothing like that. No, not like that. I was like, sometimes I'm an overbuyer. So I had some clothes in my closet that still had the tags on them. And I had some housewares that was brand new and stuff. So I went to Jamaica Avenue because I knew nobody knew me around. Nobody knew me around there. You know, I have like a presence about me that stands out. I've been told, at least, you know, from my voice, the cadence of my voice, to my fashion sense. So I didn't want to go like, you know, uptown Harlem. I didn't want to go like, you know, Brooklyn and nothing like that. I think I've been to Staten Island like one time in my life, and I do have people in the Bronx, but I'm not paying no congestion pricing. Anyway, I said all that to say, this little guy, he looked like a drug addict. He was bitten down. At first, I thought he was going to come up to me and ask me for change or $1 or something. Whew. Yo. That man, he came up to me. He gave me $10. I said, you know, I didn't have nothing like for men or nothing like no socks or nothing like that. I think I had like some plant, like some plant stuff, like some plant feed or something like that. And like the watering cones or whatever, and they was brand new in the packet. I was like, do you want this or whatever? You want something? I don't know if you got a girlfriend, a daughter, niece, and whatever. You know, auntie, I don't know, you know? He's like, no. He just gave it to me. Oh. Every time I think about that man, he wasn't disrespectful. He didn't try to like violate me or, you know, come at me disrespectful or nothing. He helped me. So when you see these people outside, sometimes if you got $1, you know you got $1, give it to them. Yeah, they may go get fucked up and buy a beer or buy a blunt. I don't know what they call them things now, you know, but they may, you know, pick up, okay, just, you know, but if you can, you know, use your discretion, because sometimes these people, they be scam artists, because like I saw this guy one time, it's another story, I'm sorry, I'm like a storyteller, I gotta hurry up, okay, and he had like cut up jeans and stuff, and he, like, you know, he looked homeless, like ripped the clothes and sneakers and stuff. This motherfucker pulled out a knot like this with fucking hundreds. And then when I saw that, I looked at him, I was like, oh, I was like, it looked like the cut was strategic. So yeah, yes, use discernment when it comes to helping people. But if you can't help somebody, because Little Richard from Jamaica Avenue, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. I think about you and I pray for you, P-R-A-Y for you, and I always give thanks for, you know, that meant so much to me, and I hope one day I get to go back to Jamaica Avenue and I just run into you, or, you know, could take you to lunch or something. But thank you so much, Richard. But yeah, be nice to somebody short, because you never know when somebody's short gonna have to be nice to you. And don't look down on people unless you're helping them up. Number 45. Stop talking about people and talk to them. If you have a problem with a person, don't tell Tina, Melina, Shalina, Malik, Tyreek, or whatever. Go talk to that person you got the issue with. Okay, that way it's no, no misconstrue, no he say, she say. All right. So stop talking to people. Stop talking about people and talk to people. I think that's number 45. Okay. Oh yeah, and another thing about number 45. If you, everybody talk about stand on business. If you a man or a woman about your shit and you said something, be a man or a woman, say it once, say it twice, and to the person. Okay? Yeah, that part. Number 46. Never let disrespect, disregard, and devaluation go unchecked. I already told you I had to call sister girl, Miss Mama's out on her bullshit when she's like, oh, I thought, yeah, okay? Call these motherfuckers out on their bullshit. Don't let it linger, because that's how, you build up, anger and, distance and stuff like that. Address it. I think that's number 47. Help me. Okay, number 48. it goes back to number 41. I mean, sorry, number 41. Number 1, go to God at all times with a spirit of gratitude, a spirit of appreciation, and always go to God. Good times, bad times, and indifferent. So thank you for listening to my rant, my life lessons that I learned, and I hope that this helps you on this gloomy day. Okay? But I feel good. Sometimes you need to cry. Sometimes you need to think. Sometimes you need to hear what's not being said. I had a situation recently where I was listening, but I wasn't I wasn't hearing things that I should have been hearing or getting from that conversation. So yeah, that's my 48 things that I learned in 48 years. Hopefully you can learn from my mistakes and not make them, and you can make good choices and good decisions and live a good, long, healthy life. And God willing, we'll be back here next year, and I'll have 49 things. They may be the same, maybe switch them around, or maybe something different. But God willing, in Jesus' name. Gosh, I almost fell. Okay, in Jesus' name. I hopefully be back here. 49 things I learned in